Okay, on the driver's side, we're going to start with the mirrors, okay? We already checked this mirror, but you just want to make sure you double check them. Secured, not cracked, not broken, not missing. Move on to this mirror. You want to make sure you look at them, make sure the glass is there, not cracked, not broken, not missing. Make sure it's secured on there. Then we're going to move on to the battery compartment, which it should be locked. Yes, it is. Let me see if I have the key. Okay. Go ahead and open that up. Gotta make sure there's nothing in there that shouldn't be in there. Make sure there's no abnormal corrosion or anything like that. It's always good to pull it out once in a while. All you have to do is lift this pin, it slides out on a tray. Make sure the batteries are securely fastened. Make sure the door closes securely when you close it. Okay, we'll lock that back up. Okay, now that we're here, we're going to check this. This is where the fuses are. Oh, this is already open. Okay, fuses. We'll make sure there's no corrosion, no burnt wires, nothing like that. Make sure there's nothing in here that shouldn't be in here. Everything looks fine, so we're going to go ahead and close that up. Make sure it's secured. Make sure we lock it back up. Okay. Now we're moving on to the stop arm. Want to make sure that the stop sign's not faded. Make sure it still has the reflection on it. Make sure the strobe lights are both present. You want to make sure you open it on this side and check this side as well. And you want to listen for any air leaks, which would be in this the bladder that fills up with air to bring the stop sign out. We're going to check the windows on this side of the bus. Just take a step back, make sure they're all present, not cracked, not broken, not missing, nothing drawn on them, nothing hanging there, nothing like that. We're going to make sure the reflective tape on the bus is present, which is all this reflective tape that runs along it. We're going to make sure all emergency exits are labeled properly with the reflective tape around them. Then we're going to move on to the reflector, or the clearance lights. Amber, 2 amber, 1 amber in the front, 1 amber in the middle, and then 1 red in the back. You want to also make sure that there's reflectors that match the clearance lights, 1 for each one. So there's a reflector right here, amber clearance light, red in the back reflector, red clearance light. Okay. Now we're going to come back. We're going to get low, and we're going to take a look under the bus. Make sure the exhaust pipe is securely mounted. It looks like it is. We're going to check the frame of the bus. Make sure there's no welds, no welds on the frame, no missing cross members, no bends or long. We're going to check the drive shaft. Drive shaft looks good. All hangers are present, secure, free of foreign objects, nothing tangled up in it, no wires, no bags, nothing like that. No bends or cracks in it either. That shit looks good. Okay. We're going to move on to the exhaust pipe again. You want to touch it, make sure if it's hot, if the bus is hot, you don't want to touch it. You want to make sure it's securely mounted. And the exhaust pipe must extend 1 inch past the body of the bus. Okay. We're going to move on to the tires. ICD again, inflation, condition, and depth. So we'll start with the inflation. The only way to properly check the inflation is with the air pressure gauge, the condition of the tires. No cuts, no bulges on the sidewalls, no exposed fabric, nothing like that. We're gonna the back for the tread depth. You want to check 2 adjacent grooves as well, but the back is 2 30-seconds. The front is 4 30-seconds. The back can be 2 30-seconds. You want to make sure you check both tires though, not just this one. You want to make sure you check the back dually as well. Okay. While you're checking the dually, you want to also mention that there's nothing stuck in between the tires. So no boards, no weeds, no nothing like that stuck in between. You want to come in here and you want to inspect the rim. The rim has no welds on it, no repair welds, no bends, no cracks, no rust trails. We're going to check the lug nuts. All lug nuts are present. We're going to check the studs, make sure all the studs are present, they haven't elongated or anything like that, not cracked. We're going to look for halos on the rim, which would indicate that the rim has been riding loose. And we're also going to check for the axle seal, which is right here. You want to make sure there's no fluid leaking, make sure all the bolts are present on it, and you want to make sure there's no fluid puddling on the rim. Most of the new buses don't have spacers or bud wheels in them, but if you want to mention it, it's this little piece that they used to put in between, but they just put them back to back now, so they don't really exist anymore. Splash guards, they're not necessarily recommended on a bus, or you don't need them on a bus, but if they are present, you got to make sure they're securely mounted. The shock absorber, which you can see right here. This bus is actually equipped with airbag shocks and the shock absorber, so you want to mention that. Make sure there's no leaks in the bags. You want to make sure it's not cracked, not broken, not missing, anything like that. You can't really see the springs as well on this side, so what I like to do is I like to get down and I like to look across the bus and look at the other one if possible, and then when I'm off that side I'll check out this one just to get a visual inspection of it, make sure it extends from eyelet to eyelet, make sure there's no welds in it, make sure it's not cracked, broken, or missing. We're also, on the back, we also need to check the air brake chamber, which we can't really see too good without getting under the bus. But if you come right here, this piece looks like a black pumpkin thing. That's the air brake chamber for the back. You could also see the one on the other side. You just want to mention those, that they're securely mounted, not cracked, not broken, not missing, or anything like that. The slack adjusters and push rods on them as well. They're on the opposite side of the brake chamber. You just want to make sure they're securely mounted, they don't have more than 1 inch of play, and they're not cracked, broken, or missing. One other thing about the rim, you also want to check the inside to check the brake lining, or the brake drum. The brake drum, make sure it's not cracked, broken, or missing, no oils leaking from it, anything like that. The brake linings, you also want to mention the brake lining on the back, just like it has an inspection hole on the other side, would just like the front. You would just make sure they're not dangerously thin, which would render the brakes useless.